We got Mike Trizano back here on the program, who's coming off a win over Luis Pena, Violent Bob Ross, this past Saturday at UFC Denver. Mike, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm great. Can't complain. Injury free.
Injury free, and you keep that perfect record intact. Congratulations on the win. First off, when did you get back from Denver? Are you back in Jersey now?
I got back yesterday. It was actually a long day. I just had one flight after the other delayed, so I pretty much spent the whole day traveling. It was terrible, but got back last night and kind of just relaxed and been relaxing all day today and going to be teaching a little later. So back
Look
to
at
the
you,
grind.
man. You got your priorities straight. Go right back to work. No time off. That's awesome, man.
Just it. Back to the routine.
Let's talk about your camp real quick. Tiger Schulman's, you guys have been on a roll as of late. The week before your fight, you had that big win by Shane Burgos, the come from behind one. And then obviously, you've had some other, big wins at the gym. How much did that help heading into this fight? Just, having the morale quite high at the gym. Sorry, Lyman Good was the other one I mentioned. He got a big win as well, too.
Yeah. I mean, all three of those guys on the weekend before me, Shane with his big win, Lyman with his big win, Julio, even though he lost a split decision.
Still a great fight, yeah.
It was an unbelievable fight. It just pumped me up, and they were texting me afterwards because I was texting them like, "Oh, awesome job, guys!" Like it put fire in me, man. I just wanted to go out there and just do my thing like they did. So, leading up to all our fights, it was really one of the first times where everybody was kind of fighting in the same time span. So the gym was electric. The energy was on full blast, and it was awesome to see everyone do really well, and I was excited to kind of cap it off.
It certainly was. And I know the other thing too that you did before you headed into this matchup is you got to spend some time at Factory X. I wanted to know, what was the connection there? How did you end up training there?
So as soon as I found out I was going to be fighting in Denver, I knew right away that I was going to have to adjust to that altitude. So I knew that Mark Montoya had his gym out there, and he was one of my coaches on the show. So soon as I found out, I messaged Mark a few months ago, and I was like, Mark, I would love to come out a few weeks early. They even texted me kind of before I texted them saying like, yo, heard you're on the Denver card. It'd be smart to come out early. So I was like, it made me think about it, and then I ended up asking him if it was all right if I joined his gym for a little bit just so I can prepare, and they were like, oh, by all means, come through. So they pretty much treated me like family there. It was a great experience, and I'm very thankful for them letting me come and be a part of their team for a couple weeks. So it was a good experience.
Do you ever see yourself going back there, even if it's not for a card in Denver, just because you made that really good connection?
Yeah, absolutely. They have a lot of good guys. I'd love to go out there and train a little bit, here and there. So they invited me back whenever I wanted to, and yeah, and I left the door open for them to come by us. So, at some point I will.
Okay, very cool. Let's talk about the fight, though. We haven't even really mentioned it. Great game plan. I feel like, you really sort of outsmarted Lewis in a number of ways in this fight. What was the actual game plan, though, heading into the fight?
Low kicks, chop him down. He was long. He has a very long reach. He was a lot taller than me, so I knew he was good at keeping distance. So if I took out his legs, it would have caused a lot of problems, and I think it did. And I was just able to keep circling towards the outside of that front leg of his, puts him in a bad position, and kind of sets me up to throw. And I think it kind of threw him off, and eventually he just was trying to take me down and not even stand up with me. So, game plan worked to a T. I've been working it for months and months and months, and it kind of worked out really well that he was a lefty too, because I had been training for a lefty for the finale as well. So kind of just kept the same game plan in a sense and just went right through. So I was more than prepared.
And was there anything that surprised you about him as an opponent?
No, I mean, I honestly thought he was going to try and take me down earlier and go for the takedowns. I didn't think he was going to stand up as long as he did, but no, I expected everything.
They're reading the scorecards. It's a split. Are you nervous at all? Because you never know with the judges, man. Like, you might think you're winning a fight decisively, and it could go the other way. Were the nerves kicking in at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous. You never know. I mean, who knows what the judges look at? Honestly, they were all over the place. A few fights on that card, and I in my mind, I thought I won 2 out of the 3 rounds. So, I don't know. I thought it could have been even a unanimous. I've watched it a few times. So, again, regardless of how I perform in a fight, I'm always going to be nervous if it's a decision because you never know.
Was there some weight lifted off your shoulders in a way just because of the UFC debut, which I know you even talked about wasn't your best performance, and this was. I mean, this was a great fight against a really notable guy in Pena. Was there sort of a sense of relief after getting that win?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, he was getting a lot of exposure and a lot of people behind him. I don't know why, because I was the one who won the show, and I mean, he's marketable, with his nickname and everything and his look. So it was kind of good to put a stop to the hype a little bit and give myself some attention.
And you don't strike me as the type of guy to check betting lines, but were you surprised to find that you were the underdog heading into the fight?
Um, Honestly, I don't even know because I don't know how that stuff works. But I would love to be the underdog every single fight because I'm helping my family out too.
Right. Yeah. Well, did you have anyone win any money? That anyone message you say, "Hey, man, I won a lot of money on you"?
Yeah, I know a couple of my cousins. They made several grand on me. Because they're always as soon as they found out they could bet on me in the beginning, they were like, "Oh, immediately, boom." So, I mean, I had a couple people message me that I didn't know who they were, and they were like, "Oh, I won a lot of money on you." Once someone said they won like several thousand euros on me, so happy to help the fans out too.
So if your cousins want some money, I mean, if they're coming over for Thanksgiving this year, you get first dibs on any food, I would think, because you basically help them win some money here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're treating me.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's how it's supposed to work. Have you? It looks like after the fight, I saw on social media you and Luis sort of just talking about the fight and the respect level and everything like that. Did you actually talk to him after the fight was over, or was it just on social media?
No, I didn't get a chance to see him after the fight, but that was just social media. Look, it's a sport. I'm professional. There's no bad blood between us. We've been cool the entire time. It was just friendly competition. That's it. He wanted to prove himself. I wanted to prove myself. The better man was going to win that night. So it is what it is. No hate.
Did you talk to the UFC after the fight?
Um, Anyone specific?
Well, no, just anyone higher up. Maybe they. I don't know if they said anything to you about the win and everything. Just because, again, it was a good fight.
Yeah, no, I didn't really get a chance to talk to anybody specific, but besides media and stuff. But yeah, no, everybody I saw was congratulating me, saying great fight, this and that, very technical fight. So I was happy with my performance. But again, I'm always gonna critique myself. I have a lot to work, so every fight is gonna be a new and improved me.
What has the feedback been like from the fans for the most part? I'm sure you're checking a little bit of social media.
Yeah, you know what? I got a lot of feedback from a lot of veterans, thanking me for giving them a shout out. I think it's important. It's the reason why we can do what we do today. People complain all the time on social media, and it's because of the veterans that they're allowed to complain. So, I think they deserve all the respect in the world. So, yeah.
No, I completely forgot about that. That was a great post-fight speech where you're like, oh, just breathe it in. And, this is the air that we're allowed to breathe is because of the veterans. I thought that was really cool. Did you pre-plan that, or was that something that just sort of came to you naturally?
No, that came naturally, man. I don't know. I felt it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Live in the moment. The main event of your card obviously had one of the greatest knockouts of all time. Just your reaction. Did you end up seeing it on the monitor? What was your reaction when you saw the knockout?
So I was watching it in the back, and then I stopped for a second, towards the end of halfway through the 5th round. I went to go take a shower because I was going to get ready to leave. I wanted to beat the people leaving the stadium so I can go out and meet my family. And everybody, my girlfriend in the back, they're like, "Oh my God!" And I'm running out. I'm like, "What the hell happened?" I saw the replay. Incredible. Honestly, that in my opinion, that goes to show you I don't just be like, "Yo, let's just stand here and bang and last 10 seconds." Especially if you're winning, if the zombie just kind of played it a little bit safe, I think he would have won the fight. And they just went at it, which in the heat of the moment, your adrenaline's going, you're like, yeah, let's just go. But yeah, you run the risk of getting caught, and he got caught in dramatic fashion. So hats off to Yair. The dude pulled off an amazing elbow.
The other big news that happened last week is it sounds like the flyweight division is coming to an end. Just your reaction when you heard that?
I'm surprised. I think there's a lot of talented fighters at 125, and it's just a shame, because some guys are too small for 35, and they're really talented, but they're kind of middle of the road when it comes to 35 because of their size compared to other 35ers, and size does play a big part, but yeah, I'm not shocked at the same time either, because there's been talk about getting rid of it for a long time, and yeah, it sucks to see it go because, like I said, there's a lot of talent at 125, so it is what it is.
When are you looking to return? I'm sure you're looking at the calendar next year. You seem relatively healthy out of this fight. Is there any card you're looking at to be on next year?
I'd love to be closer to home. I know they're going to Brooklyn. I think it's in like February or maybe
I think
January.
January, actually. Yeah, end of January.
January. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to try and get on the Brooklyn card, but hey, we'll see.
And I know you said this in the post-fight interview. You're not calling anyone out because you just leave that up to managers and matchmakers and all that stuff. But I would imagine you'd want a veteran for your next fight, just with the fact that you fought basically all prospects on the show, and then you fought a fellow prospect in Pena in this fight.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get somebody who wasn't on a show, or get somebody who's a few UFC fights in, and again, I want to climb the ladder, man. I want to make a spark in the division.
Yeah, and it was a great win, like I said. And again, Mike, congratulations on getting the victory. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, man, they can catch me at the Lone Wolf MMA on Twitter and Instagram, Mike Trizano on Facebook, and I want to give a shout out to my team, Team Tiger Showmans. I want to give a shout out to Ounce Water, Rez, Sports Drink. I also want to give a shout out to Shinesty for hooking me up with that dope suit for the media during the fight week. And yeah, that's it.